And now, let's start with politics and the politics of the NDC, because the General Secretary of the party has been sharing his thoughts about the parliamentary and presidential primaries that the party convened over the weekend.
Well, in the following interview with Joy News, Mr. Johnson Asiedu Ketia says it would have been abnormal if President Mahama had secured 100% of the votes cast.
I am very impressed about the process, because from the beginning all of us were a little bit scared about the fact that this is a new system that we are implementing, and each step along the way we had to stop to do assessments and so on. We're expecting that we will be even meeting more challenges than what we have met. We are very happy about the outcomes. We are very happy about the level of acceptance of our people and the enthusiasm that the process has generated. And as I speak to you now, the last batch of about 14 constituencies, they are doing counting now. So within the next one hour or so, we will be having results that we can declare. And I think that NDC, together with your cooperation and the cooperation of the masses and the prayers of the good people of Ghana, have made history, because this is the first time any political party in Ghana is opening the space for all its members to register and participate in the choice of both parliamentary and presidential candidates. This is the first time any party in West Africa is doing such a thing. And I can also say that the information available to me indicates that we may be as well the first party in sub-Saharan Africa to undertake such an exercise. And I dare say that even the mature parties in Europe and elsewhere have not been able to undertake such an exercise. I think that it is not just history that we are making for ourselves. We want to lift the democracy of our country to a new pedestal, and our hope is that other political parties will be able to do the same. And as more parties prepare to engage in this thing, we may together be able to convince the nation to absorb part of the cost, because it's quite an expensive exercise for the party, but it is not that expensive for the candidates, because this system has gotten rid of all financial and material inducements for individual delegates to vote one way or the other. This is something that I would say is an unbribable group of people who are taking a decision, and that is good for us.
In the build-up to this prime.
Meanwhile, scores of NDC registered members could not find their names in the album on the day of elections, and they were disenfranchised.
But the Director of Elections, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, told Joy News there is more room for improvement, but the party must be commended.
We're not ill-prepared. It's a question of we're working within a time frame, because in the first place, we have a constitutional mandate that about 12 months to the election, we have to elect our flag bearer. So we needed to work within a certain frame of time to be able to meet that deadline. And so we're guided by the Constitution to do this. And we had not, even though we had limited time at our disposal, I believe that we have done a lot of work within this relatively short time. And what we need is to be commended by our opponents. But what would you expect them to say? If they say we have done well, people will say then, So they will always find fault with what we are doing. But sitting here, I am very, very satisfied. And I have checked across the length and breadth of the country. Our people are very satisfied with the outcome of the process. Even though in a contest like this, when you have winners and losers, you have some people complaining about the system. It's just like football. And I mean, anybody who loses thinks that the referee was unfair to their team. But I believe that we have created a level playing field, unfettered access to delegates, to campaign, or party members to campaign, and then we give them equal opportunity. And the party people have spoken, and the voice of the people, they say, is the voice of God. So once they have spoken, we need to respect the voice of the people and move forward. Going forward, what I would say is that whether you've won or you've lost, that is not what matters. What matters most is that it's a victory for democracy, it's a victory for the NDC as a family, and let us put our shoulders together.
And President John Dramani Mahama was officially declared as the presidential candidate of the NDC for the 2016 general elections.
The president, according to the Electoral Commission, obtained 1,199,118, representing some 95.1% of the total vote cast. Addressing party executives after the declaration, President Mahama said the party, by expanding its electoral college, has set a standard that would be emulated by other political parties across the globe.
I want to salute our great chairman, our indefatigable general secretary, our functional executive, and our national executive committee members who stood firm and resolved that universal suffrage must be the basis for the selection of our presidential and parliamentary candidates. Even when the register was being finalized, and even when it had started to be exhibited, many were those who claimed strongly that the register had been infiltrated by non-NDC members whose sole aim was to vote against our viable parliamentary candidates or vote no in the presidential ballot. I said during the Changing Lives and Transforming Ghana tour that this new system might not be perfect, but it is certainly better than the system we used previously. Most political parties use a smaller representative electoral college system. As far as I know, this is the first time in Africa or any part of the world any political party has opened up participation in such a critical process to all its members. NDC has set a standard which I'm sure will be emulated in the future by other political parties, not only in Ghana, but in Africa and the rest of the world.
Well, the president also added that his inability to secure 100% of the votes demonstrate the democratic credentials of the NDC party.
I wish to thank those who voted yes to endorse my candidature. But I also wish to thank those who voted no, either in error or deliberately. I also wish to thank those who voted no, either in error or deliberately. Because in the order of nature, it is the interaction of agreement and dissent that creates human progress. You cannot produce energy or electric power with only the positive pole. You need the positive pole and the negative pole to produce energy. So in voting no, those who voted no, have proved to the world that our party has enough space and tolerance to accommodate dissent. Choboy, Ezu, Eza, Ezuzu, Ezaza, Ezu, Eza, Ezuzazu, Ezazuza. My brothers and sisters, I feel deeply honored for being endorsed by you as your presidential candidate for the 2016 elections. You lift me up.
Meanwhile, some incumbent members of parliament also lost their bid to re-enter parliament in the nationwide primaries of the NDC as convened over the weekend.
One of such persons is Deputy Majority Leader and incumbent Member of Parliament for the Ashaman constituency, Alfred Agbeshi, who polled some 1,745 votes but lost to Ernest Nogbe, who had 5,171 votes. Here's Ernest Nogbe in an interview with Joy News, asserting Alfred Agbeshi's was not good enough for the people of Ashaman.
You contested the incumbent. This is a man with so much clout in Parliament. What would you say gave you that leverage?
Yeah, definitely to be in power for 12 good years. There are certain things you should have done. He has done his bit. He has done what he could do. Just that his best was not good enough for the people of Ashaman. Because as I speak with you, we still have the unemployment rate in alarming rate. We have a jobs, developmental project, etc. in the constituency that Ashama is lacking. So the people have thought it wise that no, if that is the case, then we need a change, because when it comes to Greater Accra region, Ashama may be considered as one of the strongholds of NDC. If not the first, maybe one of the strongholds of NDC. So the expectation is that we should have a good number of developmental projects and jobs flowing in the system. But the people of Ashama are not seeing that. So they needed a change to see whether that will come. And they chose Ernest Nogbe because he has been sociable to them and he has created a lot of avenues, jobs, and other opportunities for them. So they thought it was that this man could be the best man to do the job for us.
No. Did you think it was going to be a done deal, a walkover for you?
Yeah, I know Honorable Agbesi would give me a tough time anyway, but I was determined because of how I relate to the people. I was determined I was going to win the election. It was, first of all, like a 3-horse race. It came to a time that I saw that it became 2. And yesterday, unfortunately, when it was 3 o'clock, and voting was ongoing, I declared myself a winner as at that time.
Why?
Well, I just felt it that it was a done deal. And I told some of my supporters that if Honorable Agbesi had won 2 police stations, I would have conceded defeat to him.
There have been rumors that the relationship between the two of you is not very cordial.
No, that may not be true. In the contest, you know, sometimes in political games you hear a lot of things. Talking about Honorable Agbesi, there are several allegations that his camp made against me. But being as a mature person and a calm nature, I never reacted to such allegations and so on and so forth. Else you would have heard a lot of things rather that will go on in the constituency which may not be good enough for all of us, because the allegations were eating into the fabric of the people in the constituency. That was derailing my success anyway. But I was able to diffuse them because they were baseless allegations. But I was able to comport myself, and then we will forge ahead till now. You may hear on radio some time ago that he said even my supporters slapped him, which was not the case, but I had to let it.
No, really calm man. He should be elated and smiling a lot. But we have to go to Cloticoli, where supporters of the daughter of former President Rawlings, Dr. Zanato Ajiman Rawlings, say they will not allow complacencies to set in their camp going forward, especially after that very victory over Niyama Ashite.
Well, hundreds of the supporters early Sunday paraded some streets in the constituency to thank party supporters for endorsing Dr. Zenoto. Speaking to Joy News, Communications Officer of the Klote-Kole constituency of the party, Ashali Tete, said they have no contest going into the 2016 general elections, but have already hit the ground running.
We are hitting the ground running. We are not waiting for 2016 to come before. We have already started development programs in the constituency, and that is what the doctor is about to change the constituency, to execute every area, make sure that every development that is needed in every area, we are going to deal with it.
It was a stiff contest between Zenoto and Nneɛma Ashite. Now she's won the ticket. Would you say she would have the backing of Nneɛma Ashite going into the general elections?
My brother, I can tell you for a fact, and you already know that NDC is a one party. We are never divided. This is an in-house program. We have already dealt with it yesterday. Everybody is on board.
Nino Inote is a very strong opponent going into the general elections. Some say he's the town boy. He was born and raised in this community. He had the support of the members of the community. Zenoto, some say, is a new person. They did not know her from nowhere. All of a sudden, she's shown up. Are you confident of victory going into the general elections?
My brother, I can tell you for a fact that if you look at this match, we have NPP, we have CPP, we have all parties. Senator Doctor herself is for everybody, and we are talking about Klote-Kole and NDC as a party. We are championing this cause, and I'm telling you that it's about Klote-Kole. We don't even know anybody is coming. We don't even have any recognition of a contestant yet, because we know there's no contest. We have already won 2016.
Well, there were some results also from Cape Coast, and we know we have Cape Coast North and Cape Coast South. But talking about that very area, tension is also deepening between residents of Ntin and the Cape Coast Police Command.
The tension follows a raid by the police in the area and subsequent counter-attacks by the residents.
There's some people. We brought them in here. The people who went to the soups even came to the regional headquarters. I debriefed them. Before, after some time, one of them got sick. He was taken to the hospital, and then he died. The police didn't beat the person to death or whatever. And we went around and spoke to people that at least this one is the following day. I even organized a press conference and educated them on what exactly had happened. And so the following day was yesterday. Thursday, Friday, I organized the press conference. Yesterday was the elections. We monitored the elections, nothing happened. And we thought everything is calm. And then people go and plan and come and attack the police station. When they came here, the policemen were not here. And even one of them, who had just gone out and was coming in his weapon, with his weapon, they beat him mercilessly, even to unconsciousness. And he's now at Interbeton. They came with pistols, local manufactured. They even shot some people. They shot some civilians. The policeman didn't shoot.
And at least one person has died, several others injured, and dozens of vehicles and other valuables also destroyed. Well, Kweku Rickett Hagen, an incumbent MP who also won the primaries over the weekend, rushed to the Cape Coast police station where the violence occurred.
I'm not telling you this, but the 36 people that we arrested, the 37, which one of them died, we screened them and we released. They are left only 7 where drugs were found with them. We can connect them with drugs, and that is those that we are maintaining them here. 36 of them, only 7 has been. So the rest that has come is just the operation, the vandalism, and the operation we organized today.
Officer, as a lawmaker, as a lawmaker, I wouldn't have liked to put myself on record saying this. But you see, the laws were made for us. There are different levels of crime, and you are better positioned, than I am. There are some petty drug issues that people can be warned, or if there's a second time or whatever. If these issues you have in your hand are prosecutable issues, fine, you go ahead and prosecute them. But if there are minor drug offenses, I think sometimes, you know, with all due respect, our own common sense must prevail over certain things. We should, I'm just, this is an appeal I'm making to you, that in order for us to have this kind of dialogue that we want to have with the community, we should meet the community halfway by using this as an example to peacefully release some of these people that are petty issues, so that tomorrow we can have a dialogue and our people will begin to see, because we need the police and the police need us. You cannot be policing us if we are unpoliceable, and we should not create that situation. Right now there is a credibility issue at stake, where the people don't find the police credible and where the police is not finding some of our people credible, and that credibility issue must be addressed and credibility restored. But there has to be some trade-off, a reasonable one, for us to be able to have this dialogue.
Let's go to another tragic story, because one person was killed Sunday afternoon when the first floor of an office complex under construction behind the British Council here in Accra caved in.
Our colleague Latif Idris visited the disaster scene and reports 10 of the 11 workers who were trapped as a result of the collapse were rescued and taken to the hospital by the Ghana National Fire Service.
We were called just a minute past 1 o'clock this afternoon that this structure collapsed. So we moved in quickly. We were informed that there were 127 people who reported for duty in the morning, out of which 116 were accounted for. The remaining 11, 10 were rescued alive, sent to hospital. The last person was the one we rescued some few minutes to 3 o'clock. Unfortunately, he did not survive. So the 10 that were sent to the hospital, 3 have been treated and discharged. The remaining 7 at Reach Hospital, we are told that some of them will be referred to 37 to do some other additional checks. So on the ground here, yes, fire service, the police, NADMO, the National Ambulance, we were all present. So far, it has been one of the fastest operations we've been able to carry out.
How difficult was the rescue operation?
Building collapse is a difficult structure rescue incident. You have to prop, you have to support, you have to cut in before you get the people out. And then we are able to do all these things. So it wasn't too difficult a task for us. To talk about the system failure and human error, I think it is too early, because investigation is underway.
And the management of Atani Construction, the construction company, however, declined to speak to Latif Idris.
This is the second time, I think, in 2 months or so,
that
or
we're
3.
experiencing some of these things.
This must be checked, honestly.
Yes. All right. So that'll be it for the news. As always, make sure you log on to our Facebook page, Joy News on TV. It is linked to our Twitter handle, Joy News on TV, and also a WhatsApp number we have.
Yeah. So what's been trending since Saturday, I must say, really has been the NDC's primaries. Lots of casualties, big names we didn't expect. We didn't see E.T. Mensah coming down, for instance. We thought Sam George was making a big statement and it wasn't going to get anywhere, but he knew what was happening on the ground, and E.T. Mensah is not going to go back to Parliament. We've got a lot more on the NDC's primary later this morning with the communications director of the party here with us. So stick with us, keep sending those comments on our WhatsApp platform, which is 0560 800,000.
Okay, and we have to say, with a good friend of ours who is a regular guest or visitor to the show, George Lowe, Member of Parliament for North Dying, lost his seat as well. But we say, please, just take a lot more grace from this very...
One more bad news before we go to the good news, because Abraham Amaliba put in a good bid as well, but he didn't get the nod, unfortunately. But the Deputy Gender Minister, Alexander Akom, did get it, so he's going to be contesting against one other strong guy from the MPP, Kweku Kwarteng in Obuasi West. And Dr. Mambwa Roxing also got the nod. So that's another good news, at least for us here on the show. We have more names to share with you.
Okay. When we mentioned Kweku Kwarteng and then Mr. Akon, somebody said, well, don't worry. We're taking a break. There's no here. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. Please stay on.